After Boba Fett is created as promised, the Kaminoan clone masters begin their studies on Jango Fett's DNA to craft the Grand Army of the Republic. Jango is a loner with an independent streak, molded by the harsh experiences he underwent throughout his life. So the Kaminoans, with Jango's consultation, explore possible genetic solutions and develop rigorous training programs to raise competent warriors better suited for unit cohesion and following orders without sacrificing Jango's tenacity and courage. Initially, the Fett genome is taken as it is and enhanced in 12 prototype clones, modified to age at twice the rate of normal humans. Only 6 live beyond the gestation stage. The survivors, observed as they biologically develop into 5-year-olds within 2 years, are quickly deemed by the Kaminoans as too behaviorally anomalous and defiant to authority. Essentially, poor soldiers, and are slated for termination. A Mandalorian associate of Jango's, Cal Scarada, is brought on to help train the prospective army and convinces Jango to let him take in the prototype clones. Of course, Scarada naturally adopts the 6 clones as his sons, as per Mandalorian tradition. These supposed failures are classified as null-class advanced recon commandos, ARC troopers. The Kaminoans gather more useful data when producing the Alpha-class ARC troopers, 100 clones given an unaltered Fett genome, but also instilled with accelerated aging. Jango directly assumes teaching duties for these clones, training them as commando operatives who develop their own independent streaks and penchants for unpredictability, comparable to their genetic father. For the clone masters, they soon improve their cloning techniques to enhance and remove select Fett genes rather than solely modifying the existing ones. A more or less perfected genome is used to create the millions of clone troopers bestowed a strict loyalty akin to a droid, combined with the creative thinking and personal will of a sapient organic. Another set of thousands of clones are also commissioned as squad-based Republic commandos. ARC troopers are intended as self-sufficient one-man armies, equally capable of assuming leadership roles and operating entirely independently without compromising their adherence to the chain of command, though the null class will be an exception, becoming known for their loyalty to Cal Scarada over the Republic. The separate Clone Commando branch is made specifically for infiltration and sabotage units, going behind enemy lines to provide covert support in campaigns executed by the conventional army. On top of streamlined flash training, Jango hires 100 training sergeants to oversee the upbringing of the Republic commandos. Scarata is one of them, a total of 75 fellow Mandalorians brought to Kamino. The entire 100-man group is called the Cuivaldar, translated in Mandalorian tongue as those who no longer exist. Surprisingly, Jango even hires Death Watch sympathizers, Dread Priest and Isabat Reo. Why would Jango willingly work with true believers of the philosophy that led to the destruction of his blood family and the death of his surrogate father, Jaster Muriel, followers to a movement that was nothing more than a false veil for the egomaniac Tor Vizsla to satisfy his lust for power and blood? Perhaps it is a testament to Jango's large disconnect to his Mandalorian roots. Although he implements Mandalorian culture into the Grand Army's training, these are all merely tools for Jango to fulfill his accord with Count Dooku. Jango cares more for his son than the Mandalorian people, a son who will idolize his father and wear his armor. Yet for most of his life, Boba will never bother to become fluent in the Mandalorian language, or associate with other Mandalorians. After losing Jaster, the true Mandalorians, and Roz, perhaps Jango came to tolerate the likes of Priest and Reo, because his true loyalties became dedicated to only his son and himself. Or perhaps the ultimate goal of the clone army, which is kept secret from the Cuivaldar, the destruction of the Jedi, is too important a goal to let Jango's personal feelings on the Death Watch interfere when he can take advantage of the undeniable skills of extremists like them. Watchmen arranged the slaughter of the Supercommandos by Jedi blades on Galadran, and now Watchmen will train the soldiers who will slay their Jedi commanders. In another life, once the Grand Army's training was completed, Jango may have taken the time to eliminate the last of the Death Watch after their usefulness ran their course. But this is a life that will never come to pass for Jango. The members of the Qui Valdar are paid their own wealth of credits for their expertise, but must spend the next 10 years in isolation on Kamino to raise the Fett clones into soldiers. Meanwhile, Jango freely makes excursions off-world when not administering the army or spending time with his son. The Kaminoan Taun We serves as a dependable foster mother for Boba, with domestic droid MU-12 also caring for the boy, as Jango pursues bounties at his leisure. Given that Jango has a vested interest in preserving his own life for Boba's sake, the loner revises his usual methods of operation and begins hiring reliable contractors to assist in complex, high-risk jobs. Among Jango's off-world employees are Alderaanian freelancer Vana Sage, a veteran of the Battle of Naboo, and Aura Singh, a former Jedi student who was stolen from her master and developed a sadistic taste for Jedi blood. Jango defers respect to Vanna's abilities as a starfighter pilot, and while Jango recognizes Aura's skills as a hunter and fighter, he feels a rare sense of sympathy for the ex-Jedi, who was forced into the life of bounty hunting. For all the professional and private esteem Jango offers these contractors, none in Jango's small circle will ever become close to him as Zam Wesell. Unlike his other associates, Zam also befriends young Boba and becomes a favored maternal figure for the boy. When an ambitious Hutt hires Jango to kill a black sun Vigo, the Vigo happens to hire Zam to kill the Hutt. Both hunters are successful in their missions, yet are rewarded no credits for their troubles since their respective clients are dead. To make up for their losses, they compete again on a new job to retrieve ancient stone artifact, the Infant of Shah. Jango successfully delivers the item to his anonymous sponsor, but Zam discovers the small statue is in actuality a weapon imbued with the Force, and that the war criminal, General Ashar Korda, plans to use it to destroy the galactic capital of Coruscant. For all of Zam's own moral compromises as a paid assassin, she can't find its inner self to turn the other way and let Korda destroy billions of innocent lives. Despite no promise of payment for this mission, Zam reinvigorates Jango's sense of honor and convinces him to join her. Aware of the threat Korda poses, Jedi Master Jarl Poof, a sitting member of the Jedi High Council, also pursues him on Coruscant. The search culminates in Korda mortally wounding Poof. Jango lands the killing blow on the terrorist, but neither Jango nor Zam have the means to prevent the Infant of Shah from unleashing its power to destroy the planet. Instead, they rely on Master Poof to use the last of his strength to balance the chaotic energies of the idol. The Jedi dies, as the now harmless statue is reclaimed by Jango. He and Zam return the artifact to its shrine on an obscure world, unlikely to ever be used for nefarious purposes again. While the Jedi on Coruscant mourn Jarl Poof, they also silently offer their thanks to the unidentified party who aided the Master in foiling Korda's plot. Jango and Zam also privately voice their respect for Jarl Poof, who sacrificed his life to save billions. Yet the heroics of one Jedi will not turn Jango away from his quest for revenge against Poof's brethren. After the formation of the Confederacy of Independent Systems, Count Dooku contracts Jango to capture 3 notable targets: Republic Senator Rod of Shipyard Construction Hub Fondor, talented engineer Hurlo Holowan, creator of impressive combat droids like the feared Razor Eaters, and criminal ringleader Grudo the Hutt. A clever conspiracy masterminded by the trio was recently ruined by agents of the Jedi, so when Jango presents his quarries to Dooku, the Count recruits the scoundrels for the Separatist cause. During this assignment, Jango also catches the eye of a fellow hunter, the Trandoshan Kratos, leader of the Bounty Hunters Guild. Kratos has difficulty teaching his abrasive son, Bosk, the ways of the hunt, so the elder Trandoshan badgers Jango to formally join the guild and to take the inexperienced Bosk under his wing. Bosk nearly ruins Kratos' plans when he takes the initiative to kidnap Boba. Although Boba is safely returned to his father, Jango knows Kratos will find a way to use his knowledge of a Fett heir to his advantage. Jango employs Zam Wesell to run interference for him against the Trandoshans, but shocks the assassin to her very core when he presents his trump card, the corpse of young Boba Fett. Or rather, a flash-cloned, brainless body resembling Boba that was never alive to begin with. Zam's reaction convinces Jango to present the body to Kratos, who is deeply disturbed at Jango's performative nonchalance at allegedly murdering the boy for disobedience. Kratos finally stops pressuring Jango to join the guild, and spreads word of Jango's heartless nature. Meanwhile, Jango casually returns home with plans to pick up a present for Boba. As proof of their bond in this brutal line of work, Zam does not hold a grudge against Jango, and continues to entertain little Boba on her periodic visits to Kamino. However, Jango's coldness and single-minded nature in protecting his son are what keeps Zam from introducing her own daughter, Sone, to the Fett family. Perhaps Jango could have arranged no-strings-attached resources to ensure Zone's safety should something befall Zam. Or perhaps Zam never wanted to risk her child should Jango decide his own goals superseded Zam's. Would Jango ever be pressured to the point of genuinely betraying Zam's trust? She will find her answer in due time. On the other hand, Jango at times acts more soft-hearted than people give him credit for. Although the clone troopers are firstly tools to further Jango's ambitions to destroy the Jedi, he displays rare moments of lenience and sympathy for them. One of the original Alpha-class ARC troopers, Alpha 02, nicknamed Spar, displays a unique level of independence and free thinking, which Kaminoan methods of reconditioning fail to rein in. After 8.5 years, once Spar is biologically 17 years old, passing mention about Jango's past triggers Jango's personal memories to surface within Spar's head. No clones of the Fett genome were ever intended to inherit such facets of the clone template's mind. And Spar knows how the Kaminoans will react to this dramatic failure in one of their supposedly refined products. So, through Spar's friendship with Qui Valdar Mandalorian doctor Midge Gillamar, Jango agrees to smuggle the Maverick out of Kamino. Although undeniably affected by his genetic father's memories, Spar is able to retain his own personality, and uses his new freedom to roam the Outer Rim under his own autonomy. Of course, the clone army is still hidden from the galactic public at this point. To ensure his freedom, Spar swears to secrecy any and all information about his origins. Boba's status as Jango's son, alive and well, is also a confidential secret outside of Kamino. But as the boy grows older, surpassing the age Jango was when he took his first kill, Jango begins taking his son on more outings beyond the stormy waterworld. Jango provides live lessons on hunting and combat, stressing that Boba must be a man of his word, never straying from his promises as a warrior. Though Boba's unconventional upbringing, few children will ever be forced to steal a tooth from a giant balyeg as part of their education, will skew his sense of honor and morality differently from what his grandfather Jester Mariel may have pictured for his legacy. Jango displays no hesitation in using his son to aid his decimation of Quati freedom fighters, and shows no remorse for effectively producing a slave army in the clone troopers, because Jango's self-centered values dictate he is bound to whatever agreement he reaches with a client, who in turn is expected to honor their word to Jango. Count Dooku is one such client whom Jango respects despite their troubled history. On one of these special assignments from Lord Tyrannus, Jango brings Boba with him to eliminate a man believed to possess compromising information on the clone army. Boba stuns the armored target with a sniper rifle, and Jango closes the distance to make the kill. Jango easily overpowers his opponent, but is greatly surprised when he realizes the target is a Fett clone, another anomalous clone trooper who sought a life beyond fighting and dying for a republic he had no personal investment in. Ever the professional, Jango keeps his word to Dooku and pulls the trigger, killing the deserter. However, Jango hesitates when he discovers the clone's wife, holding their 1-year-old son, Connor Freeman. Jango confirms the wife knows nothing about the clone army, and Dooku never specified killing the target's family, so Jango spares their lives. Boba will be kept in the dark about the true identity of Jango's quarry on this job for many years. only discovering in his adulthood how Jango secretly established an inheritance fund for Connor Freeman. For now, Jango closes his heart to the tragedies wrought by his line of work, and takes comfort in raising a son who he hopes will be able to hold his own in an increasingly dangerous galaxy. A galaxy that will very soon be consumed by war, fought by an army made in Jango Fett's image, but a war the man himself will hardly see through with his own eyes, as he loses his life before the fighting barely begins.